Hello, my name is Mumin Ahmed, and this is my Puente Project. Enjoy. The first pictures I've included in this were, of course, of my family. I had to put these pictures first because that's what I always believe, family first. My family has taught me many of the principles I preach and try to practice to this day. I attribute a great deal of my selflessness and empatheticness to them. They were always there for me. For instance, when my mom was very sick, my dad and my brother always made it out to my football games and would even FaceTime my mom so she could watch me play as well. She even made the trip out so she could come to my senior night. I included this photo of my cousins because going to this wedding made me really learn more and embrace my African culture that I've kind of been shielded from since we don't have many extended family members that live near us. These next four photos are very near and dear to my heart. On the left, you can see my former coach. He passed away in the middle of the season last year on October 16th, 2018. His loss was extremely hard to process for my teammates and especially me. He was my position coach, and I can say with absolutely no exaggeration, the greatest influence on me to this day. He taught me much more than just football. He taught me about life and what exactly our purpose is on earth, which is to serve others. Everything I do is in consideration of others, and that is all because of him. The pictures on the right show me leading out my team during our playoff game, holding a flag with his initials on it, WR, for William Roberts. This moment meant a lot to me and taught me about taking in that moment and being thankful for those around you at that time, because you never know what can happen. Next is a picture of his grave. I included this picture because going to his resting place for the first time was a step forward for me. Next is a picture of my mom and I at a YMSL banquet close to the end of my senior year in high school. YMSL, or Young Men's Service League, was a private service organization of which I was a proud president of. We led many different philanthropies, including serving Thanksgiving dinner to the homeless in Austin every year. This picture was included as it further shows just how much I attempt to serve others while leading, especially under the influence of Coach Roberts. Next is my kiddos from a program called PALS, which we had at my high school. We will travel every day to a nearby elementary school to mentor select kids who have been troubled or needed a parental figure because they didn't have one. I chose to include my pals because mentoring them really exposed me to the fact that almost everyone goes through trials and tribulations, and we should all try our best to be there for everyone we can, no matter how old they are, where they come from, or anything in between. This mentality is one that I use in my current college career. Next is a picture of my friend group trip to the Frio and a picture of my family and I at graduation. I chose to include these pictures because they were an extremely important moment in my life, graduating, and also being able to experience it with friends, going on trips, and with my family always being there for me. Now this picture is of me skydiving. This was an important step for me as I overcame my fear of heights and I went skydiving with all of my best friends. I learned that fear is subjective, and joy usually follows when one overcomes their fear, no matter how great that fear is. Next is a picture at the conclusion of our football camp. I love to preach the values I've learned from many, and that was the most important part of my time there. My fellow coach, Coach TJ, on the right, would teach the mechanics of football, and I would assist, but it was my job to teach the mindset of a football player and the values and ideals that they need to follow every day of their lives, which will propel their football career and also their life out of football. Now these are the last photos of my pre-college career. They're pictures of my friends and I on our first annual beach trip to Port Aransas. We bonded more than we thought was even imaginable, and they are a great inspiration to me even now. Everything I do is because I learned so much about them and what they've been through, and vice versa. And I know becoming a physician assistant, or even if I choose to, a doctor, allows me to help them through much of what they've been through. Now this is my first picture of me during college, actually, and it's during my move-in. Moving in with my best friend on the left was almost like second nature to me and helped me a great deal. Lastly, but certainly not least, my bio study group that turned into some of my best friends. They have eased me into the college life and helped me with new beginnings, my anxiety, and everything in between. They know more about me than my parents do. I would not be where I was without them. As you can tell, the vast majority of my photos were from before college. And this is because I haven't had the smoothest transition to UTSA. But with the good friends I've solidified, including my bio friend group, and learned to trust recently, I know there is so much more to come. Thank you for listening to my Puente Project.